There we go. I wasn't planning on doing this video at all, but I've gotten so many requests from you. I don't think that this is the type of video that people come to my channel for. I don't know how many of you even knew I was an Eminem fan, but surprise, I'm a huge Eminem fan. Like, a lot of people are surprised when they first find out I'm an Eminem fan. I don't know why. I think that the Eminem influence comes out quite a bit. I am pretty thug. I got bars. A lot of bars. Like to drink at bars. This is very gangster. I've been a fan for 20 years now. I can't even believe that number just came out of my mouth. Like, that's crazy. There's no other artist that I've followed for 20 years. I was an Eminem board moderator. I would go to the library during lunchtime and I would moderate the Eminem message board. We're gonna do, by we I mean me, we, us as an entity, are gonna do a review on Kamikaze, which is the album that Eminem surprise dropped last week. I can't tell you how excited I was to find out that there was a surprise album. I just get a little emotional every time he drops an album because I'm just so happy that he's still creating. I'm just gonna give you a really like first impressions review. This is a candid review. I don't have time to analyze it. I hesitate to do reviews on YouTube because it's like on YouTube forever, and when people put out reviews so fast after albums drop, it's like you don't even have time to digest that. How did you even like, how do you give a good review if you haven't really had time to process it yet? I'm also coming to you as a fan, not as a hip hop expert. In fact, a lot of this album was mad at hip hop experts critiquing his album as if they knew what was involved in creating art.
Wait, what's your talent? Oh, critiquing my talent. Oh.
Not a critic, just a fan. So there's probably gonna be a little bit of bias there, but I'm also an older fan. So I'm kind of a fan that Eminem likes to hate. The older fans always bitch at him about how he needs to go back to his old style.
Well, last week an ex-fan mailed me a copy of the Mathis LP to tell me to study. It'll help me get back to myself and she'll love me.
Look, the old style is super nostalgic for me. I can blast those CDs. I'm fucking old, man. So I get it, I get that, but I also think that artists should always be evolving and you should always be doing the things that you're passionate about, and your voice is gonna change, and I totally respect that. I do like the whole music better though. I think a lot of that has to do with the beats. Eminem's lyricism has gone up and down, but one thing that really made the track solid back in the day were just those bass heavy beats that were produced by Dr. Dre. And a lot of people said this had to do also with the Bass Brothers that he was working with at the time. Is it Bass Brothers or Bass Brothers? I don't know. B-A-S-S, the brothers. Yeah, I've read a lot about them, haven't heard a lot of people talk about them, so I don't know how to pronounce their name. Bass Brothers do really bassy beats. Those are the types of songs that I can just like bump. The type of songs that when it comes on, you're like, that's my song, turn it up. I like those songs. I'd say everything after Encore got less bass heavy. Just the beats got really soft. And that's fine. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't have a lot of replay value for me when the beats aren't like super there, but that's okay. So Kamikaze, he was pretty mad on this album because people didn't like Revival, which dropped last December. There were a couple reasons for me why Revival didn't go viral. So he calls the album a failure on a lot of the tracks, but then he also gets super defensive and say people slept on it. Like, he has both sides, which is one of the things that I really love about Eminem. It's that dichotomy of self-awareness and self-hatred and feeling like you could have done better, but then also like the ego of like hating on people that are hating on you. I think that is a weakness, but also just makes him so human. That's something that I just really relate to. It's something that we all have, at least for me personally. Like, I really want to do a good job. I'm super, super hard on myself, but then if someone criticizes me, I'm really defensive. I relate. So I didn't do a review on Revival, but like, I didn't hate it. It wasn't my favorite album, but like, I didn't hate it. I would rank it probably like right under Recovery and right above Marshall Mathers LP 2. For me, it lacked a little bit of replay value because one, the beats, I wish they were more bass heavy, and two, the hooks. Like, the hooks were just like bad. Like that. No, skip. And like some of the songs I would start getting into, like I really liked them, and until the hook came on. Like Framed, I was super into it, getting into it, and then the hook comes on and I'm like, oh, why this? I mean, for example, off of my favorite Eminem album, the Eminem Show, Personal Fave, this is what the hooks would sound like.
Comes off, till the lights go out, till my leg give out, can't shut my mouth.
And then compare that with Just no, it's just not it's not comparable. And then I guess this is turning into a revival review too, but I just wasn't a fan of all the sampling. He did a lot of sampling in Marshall Mathers LP too, like samples from rock songs. They're cool every once in a while, but like there's a line, and there was too much sampling in both of those CDs, albums. Shut up. I did get emotional during some of the tracks where he opens up about proof dying.
Duty, I'm trying, but you were the glue that bind it. So many things, time I'd give anything to rewind it.
And how he almost killed himself and was in the hospital, and how like he was thinking about how he wouldn't be able to go to Haley's wedding.
I just thought about the aisle, I'll never get to walk his down.
Like I got super emotional during that part. I would say that Kamikaze is the first album that I didn't get emotional on. Like I didn't cry listening to any song on Kamikaze. And that's because Kamikaze was more of a clapback to the critics from Revival and also a diss album. Like he called out just a lot of people. And my personal theory is that this album, which is only 45 minutes long, it's 13 tracks, but 2 of those tracks are skits, and then 2 of those tracks are like half songs. So really only 10 tracks. I feel like this album was just to stir the pot, to call out a bunch of people and to make some beef happen. And can I tell you, I'm here for it. I think that Eminem knows that he's at his best when he's just all fired up and like beefing with somebody. He even said it in Guts Over Fear. What am I gonna do when the rage is gone and the lights go out in that trailer park? Then he's gonna start making a lot of playful songs that he made for fun. But when he makes playful songs is when people are like, oh, you lost it. Or you fell off. Personal theory, Kamikaze is just there to set up a lot of beefs. And I am here for every diss track that comes from this. Okay, so let's get into Kamikaze a little bit more. He really goes after mumble rap, including the first one where he calls out Lil Yachty and then mocks him in his own style.
I can see why people like Lil Yachty, but not me though.
I love that he uses the style he hates to express his disdain for it. Like in Lucky You when he was like, why don't we make a bunch of fucking songs and just mumble them? I love that he makes fun of Migos' Bad and Bougie with the Raindrop Drop Top song, and he does it in their style.
Brain dead, eye drops, pain meds, Cyclops, they beg, iPod, Maybach, my box.
And I don't even hate Migos, but I just like hearing disses. Wouldn't be an Eminem album without a song about how frustrated he is with women. That's definitely on there. He opens up about his relationships with D12 and how D12 was kind of over. That was kind of sad. That's another thing, is that I just really tune in for those emotional songs where he opens up, because to me, Eminem is like the vlogger of rappers. Like I've followed this dude's life for 20 years. I followed his life for 20 years. And so we get updates through the songs. Like that's the vlog. That's like the vlog I tune in for to see what's going on in Eminem's life. Again, it just feels like an old friend. I totally get that relationship that viewers must have with vloggers. So it's a trip. I like those songs. I will say I didn't cry on any of these songs. I usually have at least one track that I cry on. But again, I think that's because this album was more of a setup for a bunch of diss tracks that are to come out. And then Eminem just spits straight fire on Lucky You with Joyner Lucas.
On the freaking minute, got me thinking of finishing everything with a seed of minutes and reaping the benefits. I'm asleep at the wheel again as I'm peeking and thinking about an evil intent of another beat. I'm a kill again.
Holy shit. And I know a lot of people like don't think that fast rap equals good rap. Like they say that it lacks flow. That was one of the criticisms about Rap God. But people went crazy for that supersonic verse, which ended up becoming a lot of white girls making videos of them rapping the supersonic verse, including myself. Some of them are doing you assuming I'm him, what I gotta do to get it through to you, I'm super him. So I get the point, fair point. But I still just really like fast rap. I just really like it. I've already started learning Lucky You.
But I think it's inevitable they knew what button to press or what lever to pull to get me to snap though. And if I'm paying attention, I'm probably making it bigger, but you've been taking the dicks on the fucking backhoe. On the brink in a minute, got me thinking of finishing everything with a seed of minutes and reaping the benefits. I'm asleep at the wheel again as I peek it, thinking about an evil intent of another beat, I'm a kill again, cause even if I got it in it.
I'll have it nailed down without looking at the words by next week. On one track, he kind of disavowed the whole Trump freestyle that he did at the BET Awards. He did a freestyle where he drew a line in the sand to any of his fans that support Trump, and he was like, fuck you forever.
Any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against. And if you can't decide who you like more and you're split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this.
And then he raps about how his audience fell into thirds.
That line in the sand, was it even worth it? Cause the way I see people turning's making it seem worthless. It's starting to defeat the purpose. I'm watching my fan base shrink to thirds, and I was just trying to do the right thing.
And now he's kind of like, oh, I didn't mean that. No, I meant I feel bad for you because he sucks. Because Trump sucks, not you, so please go back.
But if I could go back, I'd at least reword it and say I empathize with the people this evil serpent sold a dream to that he's deserted.
I think that he put out that Trump freestyle because he really thought the president would respond to him, and then I think he probably had a bunch of other songs lined up to go after him, and then it didn't happen. So then he just lost a bunch of fans, and it wasn't even worth it because he didn't get to put out all those diss tracks. That's my opinion. So that's why I think he called out so many people on this album, because I think he's just fired up. He wants to like go at someone. Overall, I think Kamikaze is fire. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars for what it is. For what the album is. I don't think it's his best album. I don't think it's his worst album. I also don't think it was meant to be just a standalone album. I think it's meant to be a clapback and to be a beef starter. And for the purposes of being that type of album, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I'd say the only thing keeping it from being a 5-star is that it's only 10 tracks. I really didn't like the hook for Greatest in the World, is that what it's called? Greatest in the world, greatest in the world. I can't, skip, I can't remember if it was Nice Guy or Good Guy, where the hook is like, suck my dick. No, okay, I get it, no, I get it. Not something I would bump in my car as a 32-year-old female. So there's that, that's what I think. I gotta go though, I gotta get ready for Machine Gun Kelly's funeral. Subscribe so you don't miss any of this, I'll see you next time, bye.